in some way we were, we just weren't able to connect the dots for whatever reason, which is, not the fault of anyone, just, we didn't connect the dots right.
Okay.
Which, slowed us down, that's what annoyed me, the fact we slowed down so much, not the fact that, it's a puzzle. I like puzzles.
I will look into perhaps less complex political intrigue layers in future locations.
I think like an alternative would be races against time as an alternative.
It sounded like a pacing thing.
A timeline has definitely been in the background. Even whenever you got rid of Ajax's ultimatum, which didn't actually get rid of Ajax's ultimatum. There has been a timeline working in the background. That timeline is dictated in part by the players, and obviously you can't see it, so it's not fucking real to you. But these NPC villains do have interactions and things that they do, like Bree running to the ruins to meet with Almarune. I understand that because I don't say it, because you can't perceive it, what the fuck's the point of even existing, but, I suppose I like players to set the pacing that they choose, rather than me ordering it to you from a timeline perspective. Obviously, Ajax's ultimatum was like a driving factor for you to some extent, but I don't want that to always be the case. I like the players, pushing the story forward. You are the story writers, and I'm here to basically be the referee for you writing a story together.
Yeah.
That's how I've always seen my position. Anyway, a lot of time having been spent on that, I will get into my third question then, and maybe we'll leave it at that. Sheep, where do you see the campaign going from here over the next 4 sessions?
That's a really good question. I feel like our current villains are going to stick. I feel like we haven't seen the last of Ajax, perhaps even not the last of Asilia, if she's considered a villain. I have no idea anymore. Regardless of whether we go to Santa Cora or Newport or whatever.
Okay.
Other than that, I can't really tell, because we are just kind of wandering somewhere because we feel like there might be something for us rather than being forced to go there. Which are the two extremes, I think.
Right, there's a feeling of a lack of direction, and part of the reason why I want 2 weeks, in case you're leaving Foghaven, is to give you folks more of a direction to allow the reputation of what you've done to sink in with NPCs. Because I haven't looked overly that much into what you will do when you leave Foghaven, because I know the fuck you're leaving Foghaven, and I'm not going to worry that much about it until I know you're leaving Foghaven. Other than Santa Cora official mentioning a few things about, you're welcome to back to Cathedral. So that's understandable that you look at the next 4 sessions and you go, I don't fucking know what's fucking gonna happen. A better question then, and we'll take this to Asthma Man, is let me see if I can think of a way to word this, as I'm just coming up with a question now. So, how do you feel about the resolution of the past 8 sessions here in Foghaven, Asthma Man?
I'm a bit split on that, actually. I don't really know.
So you're not even sure whether you're satisfied, then?
No, I'm satisfied, but I'm not sure what I feel about it. It's not really a good ending, is it? Things aren't really resolved, and yeah, it's not a happy ending.
So that as a follow-up, do you want to resolve these things? Or do you just want to move on to new things and fuck Foghaven?
I would actually prefer if we killed Osilia, but that's not going to happen. And
why do you say that it's not going to happen?
Half or more than half of the party doesn't want to do it. So.
Okay.
So that's probably not going to happen. And that's the only option other than leaving.
So killing Ajax isn't an option for you as a player. You discard that, then?
That won't really solve anything.
Okay.
At least I don't think so. Then he would just be replaced by someone else, by the High Druid, and things would be worse than before.
Now, if you think that do you think that Ajax's personality, then, and his attitudes, are with him, or do you think they're endemic to like the entire Wild Wood? Because those characters there are unique, and you certainly have as much of an idea in shaping the Druids of the Wild Wood as I do. Like, you know, Ajax in this case could be a separate entity who is acting with particular fervor in this situation.
Sure, of course. I mean, he's a huge fucking asshole, and really hate him. But I mean, if you do attack him, the High Druid will take it as an affront.
Maybe. Like,
that's what I think it is.
I suppose I want to dig down to, like, where do you get that interpretation of the High Druid saying, fuck this shit, flipping the table, I'm coming for war?
Well, I mean, Ajax is sort of her agent, and...
Well, where do you get that idea from? Is it from Ajax himself who's provided that information?
I guess so.
Okay.
I don't think he would, like...
You don't think he would lie to you?
I don't think he would live that long in the Wildwood, pretending to be an agent of the High Druid and not being that.
Okay.
I think she would know that this asshole is doing something I don't approve of and deal with it.
Sure. But she could just, you know, at least in some sense approve of him without, like, supporting him and, you know, leading a personal crusade.
So,
Go ahead, Gryph.
I agree with what Goger is saying in regards to this. Like, I entirely understand where you're coming from. But when we were surrounded by a lot of characters, not just Ajax, who were saying one thing, and they were our only source of information in regards to that only thing. And we were left to our own interpretation, thinking, he's a druid. We're not liking the druid. None of us are friendly with the druid. Do we really want to mix this up and piss off an entire section when we're here to protect? And
the thing I would go into as a GM, and this is just how I present these things, all of these NPCs that you meet, I have them in mind with agendas of their own. They have their own axes to grind, their own ambitions to achieve, and they may do or say anything in the pursuit of accomplishing those achievements. You know, I have tried to, like, you know, be as open as I can when you folks have gone looking for information about various topics, with the caveat that whoever you might ask has an entirely subjective opinion, and they may not be entirely honest with you. And how you choose to interpret that is completely up to you in that case. I just wanted to dig a bit into, like, your thoughts about that.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really have any other druids to contact in that regard, so we can't really...
You could always attempt to accomplish something, perhaps using a, if you ever ended up triggering, like, one of, like, your 5s or 6s for, like, a High Druid, and, or even attempting to, like, ask, like, is there a way in which I can contact with another druid? Like, the emissary that was sent to you, like the crow, that's another druid.
Oh, I see. Did not know that. Yeah.
So yes, then in that case, just wanted to know in that case, Manaki, you're pretty satisfied with this one. This has been a resolution, and
it feels like we're walking on knife's edge. Sort of, there's the abyss, and we walk sort of on the very thin line, trying to not fall in and explode. Resolution-wise, I like not good endings. Like endings that do not end with us riding into the sunset happily, completely assured that this place will be safe and good for the next 1,000 years. You know, that's putting it a bit on edge, but you know, I it makes the world feel more real. I don't know if that's just a cynicism, but
the counter to that is, I would think, like Thomas, is you feel like an obligation to stay instead of adventure. Like, if you're the only ones protecting a city against an unsurmountable evil, and you've defeated that evil, But if you leave, no other one's going to protect that city from another unsurmountable evil. So, ooh, where do you go?
Yeah, I mean, I would be perfectly satisfied with an unsatisfying end that feels like an end. That's the thing, though.
I'm just saying, like, we can go as far as we need to. If we killed Ajax and Docilia and everyone in the city, we'd just be sitting back in the burnt down city and be like, so what do we do now? You're thinking of like an epilogue kind of thing?
The thing is, the town's fate right now is very much still in the balance somewhere. Who knows what's going to happen? And that's something I don't like. I would like an end where it's going either way and not has the potential to go both ways. So basically, let's say we kill Ajax and then the Archdruid shows up and kills everyone. That's an end. It's unsatisfying and it's terrible, but that's an end.
See, Sheep doesn't want to leave so long as there's still meaningful experiences to be had here. He only wants to go when there's a resolution, one way or the other, and by the looks of things, Sheep doesn't think the situation is resolved. It could go either way.
Yes.
Okay. Dark? How you fucking doing with this? Like I got like a whisper message that you sent through MapTool, like, is this like a satisfying one? Is this like a fitting resolution that you can just walk away from Foghaven?
I'm very conflicted on this. As a player, I am both satisfied and not satisfied at the same time. Like, I feel we've done a good job. I feel we've definitely made the town better. Part of me feels there is still something more we could do, which the only thing I personally would propose forward is the murdering of Ajax, but, you know, now I'm advocating this, and I was the reverse at the start of it, so...
It is very much can't murder Ajax, can't murder Cilia. And then me saying that none of those will get us anything good.
Like, we have all these people to murder, but we can't because of repercussions.
But I've got a full 360 in this way, where it's like... full 180, sorry, where I've went from, wanting to not kill Ajax to now wanting to kill Ajax, but now everyone else doesn't want to kill Ajax.
I know.
And like the attitudes
it's
were
kind
so
of fun.
like, and the attitudes were so anti-Ursilia, and now you've gone, like, I certainly did not expect. I try not to make as many expectations or prepare for the consequence of all 5 players going and looking at Ajax and going, and looking at Ursilia and going, and then just everyone going,
I mean, the thing is, they both... I mean, Ajax has a point with the whole undead menace. On the other hand, Ursilia is doing good, while at the same time being a lich. So, both characters are somewhat on both extreme ends of the alignment scale, and that just messes with my head.
So in that case, they're not on the extreme ends. They're in this murky area here.
Would you rather kill a good lich or an evil druid?
A lich who is interpreted by the public of 4,000 plus individuals to be a good person.
Yeah.
Now, whether she's actually the case, you wouldn't fucking know.
An allegedly lich.
Yes. Yes, and whether she's actually a lich, like, we get to the situation of how much is the Ravinger, or anyone, said to you? Like, how much of that is true?
Yeah.
Also, I think another reason why we are having so much trouble is that killing either of the big named characters at the moment has severe negative repercussions.
Yes,
Whereas
with very little positive gain at all.
With basically no positive gain. Like, in comparison at least, whereas I keep going back to comparisons. Whereas in a normal linear campaign, you would kill the big bad guy and you would be celebrated as heroes. But here we kill the person who we might think is maybe the bad guy, and then we get hated on by everyone.
Not everyone. You'll have like people who like support your decision, and then you'll have people who are upset about it. Like, think of what you did. Like, Dwohurim went from being invisible to suddenly appearing in front of Bree, Melkor, and her undead and frying the absolute fuck out of them. Just fucking eviscerated every single one of them in one fucking blast.
I like that part.
Like, where was the mercy or confusion about Bree, Melkor? Just got...
There's a bitch summoning undead. That's what you get.
You've barely spoken with her!
I know.
We had to act fast.
Maybe that's
she
why.
was doing stuff.
If we speak to people, we don't murder them. I found the solution.
You know, the thing about speaking to Bree in that situation was either we would have had to speak to her before that or after that, but during was kind of difficult with her summoning undead and the blue evil dragon at her side.
Like, in that case, you could have, like, you folks as players could have easily waited until after the meeting, and I thought you might do that. Like, let's just watch Bree and see what happens without interfering.
Yeah, but then she summoned undead, and it was terrible.
That's also kind
She's
of what
not
I was
that powerful of a caster. What do you think is gonna happen?
Well, we don't.
I didn't know how
that.
powerful she was until she died. I was like, oh,
Exactly.
yeah, all right.
She might have been very powerful. We don't know.
Could have been like, oh, yeah, she just got kind of damaged by that. And she's all right. We'd be like, oh, fuck.
I have to admit I was kind of surprised with the group's decision as a whole to run in and attack the dragon, because I was like, oh, it's the dragon. Dragons are pretty mean, and we are like only level 3 and have just gotten to Foghaven and are dealing with like peasants and stuff. Dragons are probably out of our league. And then everyone goes like, fuck it, let's kill him.
Personally, like, as a player, I thought that was the terrible decision.
It
But
is,
as a character, that seemed to be the, like...
it might be caused by our lack of system mastery, but I think an extra problem for us is like assessing how strong things are.
I have no idea.
To be fair, I have the same problem. Whenever I look at you guys, and I'm like, how fucking, like, we have far fucking exceeded, like, not just, like, me building, like, numbers for your level. We've gone into, like, me building things over double your level, and you still fucking destroy them! Like, that thing that I balanced, I had reinforcements scheduled for you to face them, because I'm like, I don't want them to face them all at once. But they either have to face a fight that is over double their value according to the battle builder, or they won't get challenged. By mechanics, you folks there with the fights that you had, the fight against the gargoyles and the basilisk, and then the fight against like the dragon and everything, theoretically you should qualify for a fucking full heal up. You folks are nowhere near fucking expended all the shit you have. And like, that's not a fucking challenge at all. Like the system as designed is not apparently designed for a wizard who has evocation and can fucking nuke everyone. It's not designed for a druid who actually has competent spells, and it's not designed for this sorcerer guy with a lot of armor class.
I mean,
there's
only like 4 special things I can
I mean,
choose
in
from.
the fight against the dragon and like Bree and stuff, it was only like half the party fighting too for the half the duration of the fight.
That was balanced for Gryph not being there. So that I still took that.
Yeah, but Thomas was basically out for like 4 rounds.
Like, Thomas didn't fucking factor in at all. On the flip side, you did get a surprise round, which did shape the encounter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what I was trying to refer to was not necessarily the strength of the things in a mechanical sense, but rather it is difficult to get an in-character feeling of how things are. I mean, my character would probably be terrified of fighting a dragon because, fuck it, it's a dragon.
Right.
But apparently we were just able to handle that no problem. The same thing goes with like Asilia and Bree. We have the feeling that they are very powerful spellcasters and we shouldn't mess with them, but that might not actually be the case. They seem over the top powerful, but then when we actually fight them, they are suddenly just...
I don't know about Bree. You've barely had any suggestion at all that she's been a spellcaster. I don't think.
I think it was an assumption we made, at least.
Okay.
When she
Yeah,
was
we didn't have
guy.
any evidence for it.
So now, Ursilia, you've had quite a bit of reputation from her. Like, you know, Ursilia has a legendary reputation. But then, if you are to believe everything that the Whispering Ravinger says, he told you that he thinks that he could have taken Ursilia in a one-on-one fight and killed her.
Yeah, that was the first time I was like, oh, Ursulia's probably not that bad then, because that sounds like we could take her too. But before that, it's like she's this like 200, 300-year-old super secret lich, and that just sounds...
Right, like,
I don't know.
she has like a lot of like reputation there, and so many people afraid of the possibilities of what she can do.
Yeah, but reputation seems to be the only thing we can really work off of with our assumptions in the first place.
In this particular situation, yes, it's not as if anyone alive in Foghaven has seen Ursilia Melkor actually fight. But in comparison, to tell you like what the dragon consists of, the blue dragon, Blue Dragon has barely more hit points than Thomas. I think like another... Let me take a look at the exact sheet if I can remember which battle map it's on. 76 total hit points. Now the defenses are pretty nice, but all of its abilities, which it has a chance to trigger, especially against spells, they all failed. Every single one of them. And so that vastly reduced its lifespan.
Yeah, I'm assuming my problems are mostly stemming from a mix-up of systems at the moment, because in Pathfinder, for example, you don't fight a dragon at level 3, even if our level 3...
technically level 6.
Yeah, even at level 6, that is a long shot. And I was like, oh, it's probably a pretty big dragon, we're probably not going to fight it, it's probably some future villain or something, and then we just murdered it.
I think that's like, it's bizarre meta knowledge that we're trying to compare other D&Ds.
Yeah, exactly.
But we also know that the Empire has like dragon cavalry.
In Axis, there are metallic dragons, good aligned dragons, who, courtesy of like a deal made with the First Emperor, when the Great Gold Worm like helped to put the First Emperor in power, like they've sworn themselves to helping to protect the Empire. Yes.
Yeah. As Gryph said, it's probably some weird like meta system mix-up that I'm having here.
Yeah, more like a lore thing. I think dragons are, I think, generally smaller, and there's more of them than you find in most D&D Pathfinder.
It's like whenever you hear Lich, you think of like double-digit level caster, CR rating, fucking like 3 times our level. We're completely fucked.
Yeah, because we also had the time where we were looking at what is a Draco Lich, and oh god, it's so much stronger than an actual regular Lich, and a Lich is oh my god, so much stronger than us. And even a demi-lich is like...
Yeah, also, I'm not trying to say that I think things are badly designed. I'm just trying to convey the problems I'm having in attempt to basically give you proper feedback.
Okay.
It's hard to gauge in-character, out-of-character strength levels.
Right. You know,
of things, because we haven't...
So we're still wading into the system. This is my first time GMing it, and the fucking characters that Rob Heinsu and Jonathan Tweet fucking ran, apparently, were nowhere near as fucking, like, power-heavy as you assholes coming from your fucking intense tabletop gaming into the light-hearted roleplay world of 13th Age.
What you're telling us is we have accidentally min-maxed our characters.
Well,
I think it's mostly Manakai's character. Because this whole Nova approach to things...
Manakai's character approach, and that's to be fair for a wizard, but there was a sharp difference in what I did for last session when he wasn't here, versus, like, whenever I prepared for the Basilisk fight when he wasn't here last session, if you guys want to do that. That fight was designed to have different monsters at all. But whenever Manakai comes out and he can apparently evoke all the spells, and I looked multiple times at evocation. I read it like, it doesn't say it can't apply to all the fucking things. And so when he can max damage everything, one of the options I have is, I have to make shit harder, because he can nuke all the fucking enemies on this field, and it creates an unsatisfying combat encounter. If he can take down 6 enemies with 6 force salvos, or however fucking many, and just one-shot every single person that I fire, what the fuck's the rest of the party doing? Do I just put him in different non-combat situations that he can't resolve with violence? That's what I've done here! Or you don't want to resolve some things with violence, and then you just end up,
Yeah,
Damn you,
it's
Manaki.
certainly an interesting.
Do you
interesting
think it's
problem
a
to deal with.
problem?
I don't know. They clearly fucking put it in there, and they designed the situation. I've found workarounds for it, and so far I think that the combat is. I think it's still satisfying and fun. I have just made changes on the fly, which go beyond like the battle building things. I'm like, fuck you, Rubric. You're stupid. You're just as stupid as the CR ratings and Dungeons and Dragons are. You're fucking dumb. You're dumb. I hate you, and I found that out all the way back in session 1. Like, I have given the enemy steroids to match the party that is on steroids.
Admittedly, our point buy is slightly higher than usual, except she.
I think it gave you an idea even before session 1, because there was a trial combat where you gave me a full party encounter, and I was able to kill one of them and half wound another, and that was supposed to be a fight against a full party.
Right. Yes, to some extent it is because of how I let you roll for your attributes. It also has resulted from the combinations that you've chosen, and your tabletop savvy, like your ability to like work like people together, buff each other as it is. It's fine with me. I'm just working over the monsters as a result, designing new things to challenge you, and that's why I don't want to hear any fucking sass about how goddamn unfair the fucking bandit mansion was.
Hey, Grimith, you'll hear no sass from me.
You weren't there.
I was a little sad about the dragon fucking collapsing and dying like that, and then I shrugged and like, it's fucking fine with me. I have so many other villains I can make. I can kill Blue Dragon. Cool with me. Blue Dragon had friends.
You now fight the Council of Dragon.
Dragon Council.
I must say one thing I found, which was when the basilisk is like, I knew for a fact that basilisk is going to like turns to stone or something like with one of its abilities, and like it's going to be like save or death probably.
Like, that was a fight that you folks could have taken in the second session, and I fucking completely understand why the fuck you didn't want to do it. Like, I don't fucking fight a basilisk. You fucking kidding me? The thing will turn me into stone. You know, I completely get why you didn't want to do it, but having fought it then, and I didn't even have the gargoyles back for session 2, like, it just would have been the basilisk on his lonesome with only one action's economy worth of stuff, and then you guys overwhelming him, so he could have been killed then too.
No, I like the free action gaze at you every time I did something to him. I would not have liked that. Although I guess magic missiles from behind a tree would be the.
Well, the thing about the gaze attack is, though, its difficulty wouldn't really have changed. I mean, the poison would have hurt more because we would have had less HP, a little less at least. But the save or die effect is exactly the same.
You just hurt him less, which would make it hurt us more.
I was thinking for a moment though when after like, okay, I'm going to step up and do this, I was like, what happens if I just roll badly and just keep failing all my saves?
Well, you die probably.
At one moment, I really just think I was got to the point. It's like even with like that aid, it was like, nope, not helping.
I still think that Basilisk is one of the nastiest enemies we've fought, and I don't think we saw all that he was capable of.
Probably not.
You only got one full attack on us.
Yeah, because that power is just so...
Now, it's worth noting that Basilisk, like its multi-legged attack, is designed that it has to be against 3 engaged enemies. I looked at that, and I laughed at it and said, fuck you, you stupid cunt rulebook. He can apply that to whoever the fuck he wants. 3 different enemies? Who the fuck's gonna engage with him? There's not 3 goddamn people who will engage with the Basilisk.
No. Basilisk.
I'm like, you fucking kidding me? Like, another thing it has, like, and this is something that Tempus can circumvent, and I considered whether I would allow Fargus to circumvent it as well. Like, that resist melee damage thing that it has is 18+. And constructs like Forgeborn get to ignore that, so that was going to be an advantage. Like, Tempus could look at the thing all day long, and he wouldn't get turned into stone. So that's assuming that you try not to look at it, but the bestiary suggested, what if you try a creative solution? Like, sort of looking at it, or like completely blindfolding yourself, or directly staring at it. You know, stuff like that. You don't have to fucking worry about any of that. Just fucking nuke the bastard with my goddamn sorcerer and call it a fucking day, you stupid god basilisk. What the fuck do you matter?
Yeah, I use a mirror and sort of shoot backwards at it.
Like it has suggestions like in the bestiary, which for like creative ways to handle the basilisk. Didn't need to do that at all. Fuck creativity, got magic. Which is cool. I will just, especially going forward, I will continue to fucking vamp up the enemies basically.
Yep.
And I've decided to handle it in all sorts of ways, from giving them nastier specials to giving them magic items, healing potions, to staggering in reinforcements so that you don't feel the full wave at once. You know, I have all manners of veteran tricks.
Definitely the staggering the troops is one way of avoiding the insta-nuke of everything.